What's up, I'm Joe. Check it out, it's winter. I get to start wearing my goofy sweaters and stuff. There's this thing on YouTube called the YouTube survey, and apparently I'm supposed to do it. So here we go. Why am I called that? I'm named Joseph after my grandfather. Actually, my family are Italian Catholic, and it's fairly traditional to name your child after a saint. There are no less than 9 Saint Josephs in the Catholic canon, including the absentee stepfather of Jesus, the one who was disgraced for believing Galileo, the one who wrote a bunch of poems and songs, and the one who was probably autistic, couldn't do anything right, but could actually freaking fly. Surprisingly, the Joseph of Technicolor Dreamcoat fame did not make the canonical cut. Anyway, I tell you all that because when I was a kid, I wanted to know which St. Joseph I was named after, so I went to my grandfather and said, "Pop, which St. Joseph are we named after?" And he just looked at me and said, "Me." My favorite school teacher, definitely my PE teacher in high school, Mr. Herber. He was this thin, leathery old man from like the Civil War era, and I think he had dentures, so he talked like he had a kazoo in the back of his throat. But the thing is, he was still stronger and more fit than any of his students. He coached wrestling, and he demonstrated carries and pins and things like he wasn't about to turn to dust. He also gave push-ups in sets of 1. Down for 1, Holmes. I love that guy. I swear he's gonna outlast that building. It'll crumble around him. When I was in Japan, I had the extreme displeasure of being offered natto, which is fermented bean curd, and tastes about as you would expect fermented bean curd to taste. I couldn't eat more than a bite of it. I tried a little bit, and it was enough. But that wasn't the worst thing I had in Japan. The worst thing was this sort of sweet dessert candy dumpling thing that had this sickly sweet bean paste inside of it. My host family offered it to me after a meal. It had this nauseating texture and I almost yacked it up, but for some stupid reason I pretended I liked it. So for 10 minutes my host family watched while I ate bite after bite, just little nibbles so that I could keep it down. I think this has a different meaning in England than in America, but I'm going to answer it as though somebody asked me the question, which I guess is kind of the point, right? So my first real performance gig was at the Idaho Repertory Theater as Romeo. It wasn't my first time doing Shakespeare, but it was my first time doing Shakespeare in an outdoor theater in the middle of summer, and it was one of the most fun things I've ever done on stage. Actually, that's why a lot of people from college call me Jomeo, because I've played Romeo twice now. And it's one of my favorite roles that I've ever played. I'd do it again in a heartbeat. But I think in England, if you asked me about my first gig, you'd want to know about the first concert that I attended, which would have been a performance by Mr. Weird Al Yankovic. I think I was about 8, and I fell asleep during the first 20 minutes of the concert. Woke up for the end, though. My favorite song at that point was The Night Santa Went Crazy. If you haven't heard it, you should. It's a surprisingly difficult question to answer specifically. I think just generally any time I'm on the water. I've told you guys before I'm a water baby. I love to swim, I love to be on the water, swimming, boating, kayaking, diving. I think if I had to be specific, my parents live on a very small lake. So I love to kayak around the lake and take pictures of things. That's one of my favorite things to do. This is, I've actually got a couple of pictures here, I'll show you. I get to pick other people. I don't really know anybody on YouTube. Christina kind of tagged everybody I know. But I will call out my friend and bandmate The Help, Dominique Theodore Helpington Thomas. You are up. Alright, well that wasn't too painful. I could do one of those once in a while. If you have any other questions for me that you'd like to see me answer or topics you'd like me to rant about, go ahead and send me a message. I check my inbox once in a while. And once again, thanks for watching, and as long as nobody else hijacks my channel for their own nefarious purposes, I'll be back to regular updates soon. 50 XP for watching. Peace and love. Survey started by nerimon. I don't know. It looks Japanese. I'm looking that up.